And good evening, Facebook family. My name is CHIQUITA. Your girl Zion is going to be here soon. Welcome. Happy Thursday in October, everyone. I am CHIQUITA. Of course, want to welcome you to Rock Life with Zion. Again, Zion will be with you shortly. I just want you to join us tonight, if you will stay tuned with us, for mashed potatoes. Zion is going to be discussing Who's in My Bed, Part 2, and that's going to be saucy, as we said last week, probably a little bit saucier this week, because she's going to really get down into breaking it down into details. Who's in My Bed, Part 2, coming up in just a few moments. And on Sunday, Zion is going to interview music producer Mike London of Hickory Music Publishing. He's going to tell you how to get your foot in the door if you're looking for an opportunity. And we want you to also join Zion October the 21st down in Los Angeles. She's going to be doing a one-on-one interview with the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson. And that's going to be over at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills. There's going to be a whole list of celebrity guests. It's Jesse Jackson's birthday bash and fashion show. Celebrity guests are going to include the Judge Greg Mathis, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and we love hearing from our girl Maxine Waters. She's a handful. And also they're going to be celebrity special performances as well. So that's going to be October 21st. Zion is going to be doing a one-on-one interview with the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson. We're going to post that almost immediately, so you're going to get to check that out. The Reverend Jesse Jackson Birthday Bash and Celebrity Fashion Show, and it's going to be a ton of celebrities there. You know how Reverend Jesse Jackson rolls, in a respectable way, of course. Well, we're getting ready for mashed potatoes, guys. Are you ready? We're going to whip it up for you, break it down for you as well. I'm CHIQUITA, and I'm going to bring out Zion in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here you go.
Hey there, everyone. Thank you for rocking with Zion. All right. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I'm so excited. It's all about the rock, okay? Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys. As you know, we talked last week about mashed potatoes in the process, because this is all about relationships. So it doesn't matter who you're relating to, but I told you the most important relationships is first with your relationship with the Most High God, and the second most important relationship that we have is here on earth is our relationship with our spouse, right? So do anybody on here, thank you for joining me, Kevin. Thank you for joining David and Derek. Now, any of you guys remember last week, any of the process? I mean, anyone could tell me how to make mashed potatoes, the first thing that you're supposed to do. Because this is the process of having a real solid relationship. These are the things that we have to go through, okay? Because the first thing Stacy had told me last week is the peel, right, CHIQUITA?
Absolutely.
So you peeling that potato, that means that's like flesh. That's you and that person in that relationship. You know, two hard potatoes, because two hard potatoes mean there's two kind of concepts. There's two different experiences. There's two ways of looking at things. You're not always going to agree with things. So you got two people that are bringing themselves to make mashed potatoes. So now we got to try to see how we can join them together. Now, after you're getting that peeling going, right? And that means like, oh, I don't like you in this area. That person might not like something, because if you can like everything about a person, give me a call. Never heard of that, have you?
It's almost impossible.
So when you find something that you don't like, you want to make sure when you're going to have a great relationship that it does not compromise you. I don't like you, but guess what? I can deal with it because it doesn't compromise me. My spirit, my emotions, my mental is not compromising. So anybody know what do you do after you peel the potato? Because I want you guys to know, because I want you to really put this into your life to say, you know what, when I'm starting a relationship, or even if I'm in one, I have to understand that love, getting that into, the one that's in a relationship is going to be a process. And it's not always going to be easy. That's why it's important, like the Bible says, to be equally yoked. When you're equally yoked, you're starting off on good ground together, which should be the rock, which is the Most High God in Christ, right? So when you have that common denominator, you can know that, look, you know what? We know that we both believe in the word. We both exercising in the word. We're not going to always see eye to eye, but we know how to get back to the principle of things so that we can become this great relationship, right? So anybody out there, thank you for joining me, Cam and Carlton, all of you guys. Now, after you peel the potato, okay, because I'm getting these guys on here. I mean, come on now. I know somebody out there is a cook. Tell me what's next after we peel the potato. Anybody? Can anybody join in and help a sister out, cook some potatoes? You know, or you expect me to cook? All right. Nobody can tell me. Chiquita, can you tell the people what do we do?
You know what? I am so surprised and happy about so many guys joining us tonight. I mean,
Yes.
we almost have like 80% guys right now watching.
Right.
Fantastic. So thanks. We want to bring the guys in.
Come on in and tell me, and maybe you guys learn how to make these potatoes. Okay, let's see what we could do with these potatoes. Jerry, what you saying over here?
He says, pick your seasons.
Oh, you.
Woo! He's going there already.
Okay, you're a fast one. Okay, we
like
just
Jerry
feeling the
dancing.
potato right now.
Pick your seasons.
But that's good. That's a good one. But we're going to get to that point because that's the juicy point. What do they say?
Kevin wrote to us. Kevin Eichmann said, you must love yourself first. You must love yourself firsthand to make a relationship turn into a beautiful rose. From there spreads a garden of love.
Ooh, go
Woo! He must already be married. Because he's got it.
God, he definitely knows something about potatoes.
Jerry said, got to give them some taste.
Okay, so let me see what we do. Okay, so the first thing, I'm in the kitchen, I'm cutting a potato. I'm in my relationship. No, I'm peeling it, all right? So after peeling it, Chiquita, what we gonna do? What? Come on, after we peel it, we're gonna cut it. Now the skin, remember the skin is like the flesh, okay? You're cutting off the things that, trust me, when someone gets you upset or whatever the case may be, you got to peel it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things you're going to start compromising. You're going to start working on things together. There's things that you're not going to like, but it's a love that you will have, that common denominator that says, you know what? I'm not liking this, but guess what? It doesn't compromise me. So I'm willing to go ahead and keep on this process with you. So then it gets the cutting. Oh my gosh, the cutting is like, there's some things in your relationship that you're going to have to cut off. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to cut some things off. But understand, in relationships, it's really good for you because there are things that you wouldn't even know about yourself unless you were close to someone, all right, to really see yourself and take an accountability. Because a lot of times we get in relationships and we want to point the finger. It's like, oh, you don't do this right, and I don't like the way you do this, and I don't like the way you do that. But instead of us looking at what we don't like, let's look at what we can appreciate and things that we can do to better ourselves. Because a lot of times I say to someone, I had someone call in for consultation. It was like, well, my spouse don't like to be passionate, and they're not loving, like to hug and this and that, or, just not loving in that area, and possibly because he didn't grow up with that in his household, so he's not used to it. So it's like, whatever you want that person to be, I say start off by being it. Start off by being what you want that person to be. Be the change that you want to see, okay? Don't always expect this from someone else without becoming what you would like them to be, right? That's just like a lot of, women or men say, well, there's no good women out there. There's no good men out there. But guess what? Are you
Wow, that's powerful.
A good man or woman, all right? Because if you want one, you should be one already yourself so that you will have something to offer. And then if you rise up the standard, you raise the standard, right? So, okay, now we've already peeled those potatoes. We cutting them. Woo, boy, I'll tell you, it's not feeling good. But then, you know, you have your good times because you know you're making potatoes, right? So what's the next thing that we do after we cut the potato? Come on, somebody. Can I get some help in here with the kitchen? You know, I guess the guys don't like coming to the kitchen. My sisters is not helping me out right now. I mean, they calling me out, all right? So tell me, the next thing we want to do, we're going to take those cut potatoes and we're going to put them in the pot and start boiling, okay? So let me tell you about the boil. We've all boiled, okay? If you notice when you get really upset about something, right, Chiquita, what you feel?
A range of emotions.
Yes, and those emotions come from hot, heat. You can feel it, the energy, you know, you can feel it. It's like sometimes it be so heated, it's like, you know what, you don't make me so upset. I'm dripping, sweating, and maybe need a thing of deodorant right about now. Because you're going to really take me off, you know what I'm saying? So you get hot, okay? And you got, like you said, a boil of all these emotions, you know, and learning how to discipline those emotions, you know, emotions. We have to learn how to discipline them. We have to really look, why is this person making us upset? Why are we giving this person the power to piss us off? Why am I giving you this? And that is a time where you can really start examining yourself. Instead of pointing, just understand, like, why is this upsetting me like this? Because you can come to find out that these things are making you upset because this is something that you in your past has dealt with or put up a wall on, or anytime this happens, it would trigger you. These relationships is not just built just for the opposite person that you're in it with, but really it's in to make you a better person. That's why it's so important to be a whole, to be complete when you're going into a relationship, not looking to fulfill a void, feeling like I want someone to love me, you know, and all that. You should be love already. I always say, if you're looking for love or desire to have love, it's not necessary. Become the love that you want to draw to yourself. When you're love itself, love will come your way. But the most important thing is that you're fulfilled already. So that way you're looking to exude the love out instead of suck someone's love for yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, if you have a void, that's that round hole, I say, that's right here in the gut, and you're feeling, you're sucking someone with that because you want them to love you, that insecurity start coming because you're putting everything out of order. You can't do that because then you're putting them as your God. You're putting them in that hole right there. And no one will ever be able to fulfill that void but the Most High God. He has to fill that void. So you will be feeling like you're not getting what you want in that relationship. You will not be fulfilled. You'll always feel like you're running more and this, you know, it's not working. Because why? Because you're out of order. You have to first be fulfilled with the love of God. You have to have those voids fulfilled and be whole so that you can find, or God send you, that whole person, so that completeness will come together. So, okay, now let's talk about those heated potatoes, Chiquita. Now tell me what you think about this. If we have 2 potatoes in the boiling pot, right? And you notice that when we do what? When we try to make sure that they're ready to come out the pot. Chiquita, you know how to make potatoes? You're so cute. Okay.
Telling people my cooking skills.
She cooked good, but and she loved mashed potatoes. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's some instinct. So anyway, when we have those potatoes in there, we take a fork and we see if they're soft yet, right? So we're checking. Now note this. This is very powerful. I want you to listen very carefully. When you're taking your time and you're poking to see if these potatoes are ready to come out so that I can mash them, sometimes some potatoes are soft and some still hard, you know? So then you have to sometimes take some potatoes out because then they'll get too soft. And that potato that's too soft, that's ready, guess what? It has to wait till the other potato gets finished and get it to where it's ready as well, right? So this is what we're looking at relationship. You're in a relationship with someone and you're feeling like this person is just not there yet. I have to work with them. They don't understand things. Even in your spiritual walk, you're like, this person doesn't understand the relationship with God, or maybe not know the word as much as I do, or, you know, they're dealing with something an emotional. They might be insecure. But guess what? If you get in the pot, if you decide this commitment of mashing potatoes, guess what? It's going to take patience. It takes patience. Everyone don't get done and ready at the same time.
And you know, I like what David just texted to us. He said you have to add the spices and the herbs to the potatoes, which is faith, trust, and patience, or what you bring to the relationship.
Oh, there you go. David, that's awesome. You right. And I'm going to tell you, ain't nothing like the seasoning. But you know what? But seasoning is time. That's what, in like season, you understand? And seasoning is time. So it takes time, you know? You get into these relationships, you learn patience. You learn long suffering. You learn being kind when it's very difficult. That's why in the word it says, man, to love your wife, to love her. She was created for you. And I want you to understand this, gentlemen, kings, okay? Kings, soldiers. God, you are accountable to God how you treat your wife, or how you even begin to go into a relationship. He's watching you.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
They are accountable because you're the king. You're the head. So if you go in there being misleading, or if you're being deceitful about that and have a woman fall, God is holding you accountable. Remember when he went to Adam, he didn't go to Eve first, because he brought the woman to the man. And that's why I'm telling you, men, you got to soldier up. We need you to soldier up. Okay, so then you're accountable. And for your wife, that's a gift from God. That's his gift to you. So it's so important when you don't do your work and your job that you are supposed to do with your spouse, as you know, you're accountable. But I'm going to tell you, that's a powerful position to be in. You know, because that's your father, and your father's saying, look, I'm giving you my land, I'm giving you dominion, you know, I'm giving you my daughter. And you know what? That's an honor. It's like an inheritance that you are actually getting. And so it's like, if your father's trusting you and trusting you with this inheritance, it's like you want to take good care of it. You right? So that can go into generations to generations. So let me get back to that potato. So now the other potato that was ready and done and, you know, ready to get to the next level had to be patient with this potato, whether it's this person is insecure, or this person needs experience in certain areas as far as learning how to show passion, or learning how to communicate. So the patient means endurance. That means that you have to endure, that you're going to have to, you know, be that example. You know, you can't just be pointing, oh, you need to this and you need to that. No, love conquers everything. So you have to learn how to become it and be patient and find out about that. You're in bed with this person, okay? That's why I said the first thing, and I'll get to the bed. So we're going to stay in the potatoes, right? So now we got these potatoes. And so now you've been patient. You know, you've been working with your spouse that you're with, right? And now it's like, okay, this person has surpassed this, okay? And remember, this is only the first and second serving of, that means that we're always going to be having potatoes. But this is a process now that, okay, this person has received these patients, right? So now it's out and is joining you, okay? And now we're able to mash it up, you know? And mashing don't feel good, because now you're mashing all your thoughts together, and you're mashing all your feelings together and your concepts together, and you know, how you do things. And the meshing is good for this, because now you know each other and you have learned each other. And now you meshed with them because, you know, like, oh, he doesn't like it when I do a certain thing like this. So, you know, we women, it's like we want to please our husband because that is the law, to please. And we should love to please him. Excuse me. Because he is the king of our household. So, you know, but it took all those processes to mesh with him, to understand how to please him, what he likes and what he dislikes. What can I do to input in him and build him and love him and share with him and love him to the ultimate. It's the same thing with you husbands. It's like you learned your wife, you know, you're learning her continuously. But now you know what she loves, you know what she doesn't like. She says don't get her flowers. And you're like, well, I'm not going to waste the money and get her flowers. She wants the money. So I'm just going to go ahead and give her the money so she can get her clothes or whatever the case may be. You know what she likes. And so you're not going to waste your time on doing those things that she doesn't like. Now, I always say this because this is very important. Say, for instance, a guy wants to give you flowers. And the girl's like, I don't like flowers. I don't want flowers. And that's good for her to admit, like, she doesn't like flowers, right? But women, I do challenge you, and men too, on this aspect, is to look at this. Sometimes it's good that you might not like something, but find out why that person likes to give you flowers. Because that's important too. Because it might make you start liking flowers. Because it might be something in him that moves him to make him feel good, to give you something. So you don't always want to reject what someone wants to give you out of love. Because just imagine if God is giving you something and you reject him, you know what I mean? And you're always like, well, I want this, God, I want that. You just asking him what you want. Have you ever asked him what he wants to give you? Surrender to him, you know? And this is a beautiful thing, because once you learn out, he'd be like, you know what? This happened, and I always think this way and feel this way when I give you flowers. So always open that communication, not so quickly to just chop a person off like, I don't want that or whatever. Get to understand it, because like I said, you might enjoy the flowers. What do you think of, about that too?
I think it goes to show when it's showing a sense of unselfishness.
Yes.
And to me, that's honorable. That's what we want to be, especially as women, as wives. We want to be unselfish.
Yes, I love that, unselfish. So now we mashed them, and now we get back to those seasonings. Okay, this is where the season come in. And like I said, who was that said that earlier? David, talking about the seasonings. Now you got the mash. Now you putting that butter, you know. Wait a minute. I forgot. What? We got to whip it and whip it good. Right, you got to whip it. Whip, you know. So when you whipping it up, right? Let me tell you, it don't feel good to whip. When I think whip, I think whipping.
No. We're talking about whipping in a good way. We like whipping, right? That type of whip.
I like that better.
Yeah,
okay. But it just depends on where you're at in the relationship. Because it can be a whipping good or whipping bad. Okay. But you got to learn out. That's where you start discerning. You got to understand, especially if you're a spouse, you still got to whip it until you whip it right, right? So you got to learn all that's necessary in the processes and go sometimes back through the processes in your heart and mind to say, you know what? I know this about this person. I know that. You have to care. You have to love. And women, the Bible, you notice the Bible didn't say that, tell us to love our husbands. It told us to respect him, to reverence him, right? Because we probably so full of the love energy, because I call love energy of emotions is energy and motion. You know what I'm saying? We have that nourishing. But he also told us to respect the man, respect him as the king of our household. And it's very difficult for women a lot of times to submit to the man, because especially when we've been out on our own a lot, you know, because back in the day, Chiquita, in the Bible, the daughters would go straight from their father's house to their husband's house. You know, so they were always sheltering under that that covering, right? But now it's not like that. We leave dad's house and we're out on our own. We've gone to college. Some of us end up with children. We're raising children. And we really start playing both roles, the man and the woman role. And once we get into that relationship with that man, it's very difficult for us to take the pants off and let him wear it. And then it's like, okay, we think, we know everything. We know how it's going to work. So then, unfortunately, we start being the man in the relationship.
I'm also laughing at what Kevin just wrote to us. He said, and guys, feel free to hit us up with your comments as well. Kevin Eichmann says, she makes me wash the dishes. I love her more than anything in the world.
I love that. I love that. See? And it's working together. You know what I'm saying? We have to work together because we want to have those relationships, not petty relationships, okay? Did you know that the Bible says that when you get married, you're supposed to take a year off? Isn't that very powerful? We really are supposed to take a year off from working and doing this. But of course, these days it's like, whoa, okay, Father, show us how to do that. But seeing if you can, meaning that it's very, very, very important that first year to learn each other, to know each other, to go through the process, to mesh that relationship, to put God first, to pray together, to stay together. That foundation, that rock is more important than you can imagine. And that's why he said you take that year off, so that you can put into that person. Now, like I said, you get into the whipping, right? You're whipping that thing together. Now you want to put that butter. There's something about that butter for me. I know some of you guys don't even do potatoes, but I love the butter, and you get the salt, a little bit of milk, or some people put half and half, different things, whatever your season, whatever floats your boat, because we all like something different. And that goes to show with the relationship thing, She might like certain things on her potatoes that you don't like. There's certain foods that you might like that she don't like, and vice versa. So how do we work this? This is all a process, and it's all encompassing love and being in a bed with someone, being in the bed with your wife. Okay. So now I'm gonna take this process of all these potatoes, okay, and we're gonna talk about the bedroom. Okay. So who do we supposed to first be in bed with? What they say, Chiquita?
David says a successful relationship has 3 primary ingredients. He says 1, affinity, 2, reality, and 3, as you said, communication.
Awesome. Thank you, David. You're good. You must have a wonderful relationship.
Some of these guys really know. So, they know what they want and they know what to expect. So,
that's important. That is so important. So, and let me tell you, once you have all that knowledge and that substance, and then when you get into that relationship, that's when you exercise it. It's just like a true exercise. You're going to work those muscles. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I already know. It's like, because when you're single, it's like, I know to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to be the best wife in the whole wide world. I know this, I'm going to make him happy. And you go in there like, woo! You know what I'm saying? And love is just oozing out of you like, I'm love, and this is the one. And you go in there and be like a fly swatter. It can be like tap, because you're going to deal with that certain situation. You're going to be in there like, oh, Father, praise me, Father. You're going to be, help me, Father, deliver me. You know what I'm saying? But it's good because it really sharpens you. Because whatever that person has that is moving you on the inside, always say, instead of looking at that person, look inside yourself and say, why is it affecting me this way? Because sometimes it's not always them, it's us. Say, for instance, I might be a very, let me see, what can I be, Chiquita? I thought of that word. That's funny. Somebody give me something. Say not loving. Say I'm just not an affectionate person, right? I'm not an affectionate person. And I'm going into this relationship, and of course, a person who was affectionate, because it's usually in relationships, you get with someone who has a lot of qualities or something not like what you not like, and vice versa. And this person wants affection, you know, and I don't know how to be affectionate because I didn't have it in my family, you know, and that person will have to be that potato that's already soft. And that softness means that they're just going to cover me, you know, they're going to be soft in me being in my hard place. Mm-hmm. Woo, praise God. Mm-hmm. They're going to be soft while I'm in my hard place. Because when you're soft, you're a consuming fire, you're a consuming love. And so just because you are that, it's going to soften me up. Mm-hmm. You see?
That balance.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you soften me up so that I can grow. Mm-hmm. That's what the unity of two and the beauty of it is. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I don't know how I got over there, but all praise to the Most High. Okay, so we're getting back into this bed, right? So now we got this bedroom situation going on. Now the first person that should be in any of our beds is the Most High God. So for you men, you need to be in bed with God even before you even think about being with a spouse, okay? You got to be in bed with God because that's the order. God and men walked together in the cool of the day. Men have strong relationship with God. They talk. He told you to name the animals. He was just made you dominion over everything. And then he saw you as alone and said, well, let me make you this out from yourself and put her by your side. And he gave you woman. I mean, and do you understand that your father gave you something beautiful? You know, beautiful. And it's like, wow, this is a gift from God to you. And that's how you have to look when a woman come in your life. Like, is this the gift that God has given me? And you have to treat it like that. And first of all, you have to also treat the women like your sisters. You have to treat them like your sisters. Like, you wouldn't want someone to take advantage of your sister or take advantage of your mother, you know what I'm saying? Or anyone you love. You don't want to be taking advantage yourself, right? So you have to say, you know what? I'm going to do the righteous thing. So now you're in bed with God. Woman, you're in bed with God. You know what I'm saying? She's saving herself for her husband. Now remember, a lot of us haven't had the chance to do that because when we came into this world, there was already Satan's licenses all across the board to make us fall. Mm-hmm. And one of those licenses was boyfriend, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. What you think about that, CHIQUITA?
I think that, well, I have a lot of opinions about that being a single woman, but you've got to look forward. Like, you can't just sign up in a relationship short term. It's got to be a long term. You got to be looking to have a long-term spouse, a husband or a wife.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's very much lined up with the Bible. Mm-hmm. In the Bible, you do not see boyfriend, girlfriend. What you see, you see that she was with her father until the male, her husband, the one who chose to be with her, or God sent her to get married. You see, we were only to get married. And the thing is, that's not happening. We end up with boyfriend and girlfriends. We're going from relationship to relationship to relationship, trying to find that love, getting hard, getting bitter, pointing the finger, getting upset. Now we're having baby mamas and baby daddies. And now we're just all off the cuff. And we're just continuously doing that while we still open our mouth saying, I love God.
Out of order.
Straight out of order. And when you're having these relationships, fornication and committing adultery, you are fouling your temple. You are defiling the bed. You are in the bed with God, and you're going against his laws to do these things. And so guess what? Then you are putting destruction upon yourself. And now you're dealing with situations you didn't even have to deal with, you know? And so now it's like, okay, now you're in bed with God. Now it's like, how do you date? Do any one of you have any advice? Like, what would you think when you are saving yourself, okay? Gentlemen, the woman is saving herself, okay? And you meet a woman, because don't you want a woman of substance? My kings out there, a man loves a woman with substance. You know what I mean? It's like, you're beautiful on the outside, but really what's in there?
It's in there.
Absolutely. Okay, because you're not just married on the outside. Truly, at the end of the day, you're going to marry everything that's inside of her. Now, if she contentious, you're going to marry a contentious woman. And you know what the Bible says about that. He said that's just like making a man go on top of the house roof, you know, and scream, ah, you know what I'm saying? So, or you're going to get you a woman of peace. And that's why you have to look at these qualities. Is this the kind of woman? Let me try the spirit, test the spirit. What's in her? You understand? Is she contentious? Is she peaceful? Is she forgiving? You know, is she knowledgeable? Does she have wisdom? You know, what's in there, you know? Because this is what you marry, you know, is what's underneath that flesh, you know?
And I'm going to encourage a lot of the gentlemen that are watching right now to let us know what your thoughts are. What are some of the best qualities that women have or that your woman had that made you decide this is going to be your wife? Let us know. Because we've got a lot of guys watching now, and I appreciate
that's
that.
Great.
Absolutely.
And we definitely want to know, because we know that you are guys the king. And this is what I love about a king. I always think about Joseph, how Joseph was over in the king's palace, and Joseph was fine, okay? Fine as wine. And the woman was the king's wife, wanted him so bad. She wanted to commit adultery with this man, okay? And Joseph, tell me, you know what Joseph did? Anybody can tell me what Joseph did? Anybody?
Do you know your Bible?
Do you know what Joseph did? Because if you don't know what Joseph did, if nobody say what Joseph did, I want every one of you guys to do this in this circus situation, okay? Since nobody said anything, know this. If you're a single man, if you're a married man, if you are being tempted or attacked by someone, a woman, because if you read Proverbs, it talks about the woman being as a ditch, like the ditch of hell. That you need to know as a male, as a king. I mean, she has destroyed many kingdoms. You understand? And that is biblical. So what Joseph did, he ran till he was losing his clothes. Okay? So this is what I'm saying to you, men. You have to run. You have to run. You have to speedily get out of these situations, okay? Because God is making you accountable. He's making our men accountable. This world can only get in order as we, the children of God, get in order, okay? And the order is the husband, the wife, and the child, okay? Just like in heaven, you have God, you have the mother, which is wisdom, she, and then you have the son, which is Yeshua Christ. Okay, so you can look at everything in heaven and see the order that needs to be here on earth, okay? So, know that you need to be in bed. Know that we need you to soldier up. Women, now dating, did he say anything about the dating? Because we really want you to know what does he say, Chiquita?
That's Kevin saying that his wife stood by his side when he had a brain tumor and major health issues. He says that's unconditional love.
Oh my gosh, Kevin, so true. And that's what it's talking about, unconditional love. And that's where that seasoning is. Because you're going through the hard times, you're going through the process, but you trust in God and that seasoning, that faith in God that you have with this person. I'm going to tell you, anything worth having is going to be worth working for. You have to work for it. You cannot just see. Even God said you can have faith, but faith without works is dead.
It's got to be some sacrifice.
You got to do something. You got to exercise that. So it's like, okay, now look at this. We got the woman. She's here. She's saving herself for this man. For not this man, for her spouse. Let me get that straight, because I don't want you going out there saying nothing like that. That's not what it's about. She's saving herself for her husband. Okay, did anybody say what they would love to see in the woman, or how they know that they should date a woman that comes and tell them, you know, I'm saving myself, you know, because of course men can be forefront with it. A woman should not have to feel that just because she's going out with you, that and you buy her some dinner or you buy her some flowers, that she has to feel that you want her to get in the bed. Okay.
Intent is everything.
And everything. Now, if you do that, know that your God knows your thoughts and you're accountable. And also for my women too, okay, we got our thing too, is that you're not just trying to date a man because of what he has, his position, his money. That's not should be your main core. These things should not be your main course. Your main course should be God, Most High God. I want the right person in my life. Because I can tell you, look at this. Can you love a person if you come to him and they're like the wealthiest person on earth? That moment you get married and then the next thing they could lose their money, would you still be able to stick with that person?
It goes back to intent.
Exactly. Your
And
intent.
all these principles have to line up.
Yes. Yes. So if you can't find yourself like, I love this person, like, because I told you, don't be getting in your we moment, you know, because we will get you in a lot of trouble. Don't get yourself in that chemistry thing. You know what I'm saying?
We talked about that
last week, right? And what you think about that, Chiquita, when you think about that chemistry?
I think it's a natural reaction to have that chemistry with someone, but you have to look beyond that. If you're, like you said, you're looking for a long-term relationship, you're looking for a spouse, a husband, a wife, you have to line up with the principles of God, not compromise.
Exactly. Oh, she said the word compromise. And we can't compromise. Because when we compromise and we end up sleeping with that other person or doing anything, we're compromising, meaning we're coming from under the umbrella of God. And now we're under the umbrella of sin. So now that's where a lot of hurt comes from. Because now we like, oh, I think, you know, this is the right person. And a lot of us, let me tell you, the enemy talks to you all the time. He tricks you. He's just a trickster, okay? Because he'll be like, oh, he's like your husband. You know, you guys going to get married. Or you can let him move in. Now you're going to save money on your rent. You know, now not only do he's sleeping in your bed, now he has your key. You know? And then next thing you know, you're doing everything for this man, okay? Like he's your husband. But yet he's not your husband.
That's a big deal.
You know?
That's a big deal.
And just imagine, now you're giving him everything that the beautiful, wonderful husband is supposed to get. It's like, you're not getting this? Oh, no. You know, this is saved for my husband, the one that God has for me. You understand?
And how many times have I had girlfriends tell me, I did everything for him as a girlfriend. I prepared him to get married, and he married someone else.
Whoa. And that's when bitterness comes in, you know, that hatred. It's like, and then you like built this man and he just like the king of the world. And you're like, yes, look what I did. And he like, shoot. You be like, George, are you there?
That's why you don't compromise.
Exactly.
That's why you don't compromise.
Exactly. So you don't want to put into someone unless you know that that is the person that God has for you. Because guess what? Because you did it wrong, now you're susceptible to these things happening. And God is sitting there waiting like, okay, I gave you the laws. We look at the laws like he doesn't want us to have fun. You know, but the laws is his love. You know, just like your children, your law that you put in your household is for your children because you love them, because you know the outcome. You know how it can hurt and destroy them. So that's what those are there for. They're to keep you. You understand? So now, you know, we're in this bed, you're in bed with God, this woman's in bed with God. Now, man, how are you going to approach this woman? You know, I mean, because like she said, chemistry is good. Chemistry is there because if you like a person, you know, you're going to bond with them, you know? And it's like, okay, if you feel that, I'm like, go pray about it.
You do have to pray about it. You do have to pray about it. There's some people that have chemistry for more than one person.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
you know,
but
that's a good one. That's good. So you can be chemistry all over the place. You might be a chemist. No, just kidding. But, you know, you have this chemistry all over the place. You know what I mean? Just like, especially for men. You know, there's beautiful women all over the place. And you can be like, woo, woo, woo. And we. Okay, I got the woo for the men and the we for the. Okay, I like that. Anyway, so you got to get out your woo.
Because that chemistry feels good.
Yes.
It's feeling. It feels good.
It's a high. It's like a high. You meet this girl. She's beautiful. She's talking your talk. And then you got to start paying attention to your thoughts. Now, when those thoughts start coming to, starting to see her in her body and start looking at her like, I want this person. that's when you have to discipline yourself and bring those thoughts back. And think, this is my sister. I really want to know what's inside of her. Because then now you come where when you let that other thing talk with that flesh and so forth, and you get in that relationship and you rush in it, then you be like, well, I don't know, I don't want to be with her. Well, yeah, you do with her for a time, and then you have to have a baby by that person. Now you got babies all over the place, and now you angry and you're bitter. Because why? Because we're out of the laws of God. So we have to contain ourselves. We have to discipline that flesh. That flesh want to do what it want to do, but the flesh wasn't supposed to rule. The flesh is the earth, and your spirit takes dominion over the earth. That's why when Paul said, it's like, even though I do good, evil is present with me. So meaning, this is what that means, is that even though I do good, presence of evil is with me. Meaning that you're going to do good by that woman. If she's kind of showing herself or whatever, even the thought be like, that thought, like that wrong thought might be there, but the goodness in you going to do the right thing, because it's the war. It's like, you know what, I thought that thought, but I cast that down. I'm going to do what's right now. I'm going to cover my sister up with a scarf, because she's showing too much. And that's how you're getting back into your kingdomship. You're covering your sister. You're loving her. You're respecting her. And if she says to you, I'm keeping myself for my husband, think that, be scared. Okay, because she's in bed with God, and she's telling you she's saving herself. And if you come and you mess that up by deceiving her, saying, oh, I want to get married, and this and that, and your heart is not right with that, trust me, there is penalties, okay, for that. There is repercussions for that. So you have to start disciplining yourself. Not, if you know you're weak in that area, don't put yourself in that predicament. Don't go out being all laid out with someone, this and that. Treat her like a queen. You want a queen, you want a good woman, then you gotta be a good man. Be a good man. That's all.
And our sisters too.
Yeah.
And our sisters too.
Sisters, we gotta be good. We have to be in the bed with God. Like I said, if she's in the bed with God, even the man, because there's some men that are keeping themselves women. Can you believe it? Because the women be like, ain't no good men up here.
We've met a few. They're
out there. They are keeping themselves for their wife. And matter of fact, I have a guest, a couple that got married. And I'm not going to say, I don't want to tell the good stuff. I'm like that, but some people will tell. But I'm excited to have them on because they kept themselves. They dated for over a year without doing any of that. And when they got married, then that's when it happened. And last week, I had a person say this to me. Okay, so don't you want to try it before you buy it? Because a lot of people have been saying, look, you know what? I need to know what she's about. Is this, sexually going to be satisfying or whatever the case may be? I had my sister say, she said it was different in the Bible because what happened? She was a virgin, right? So because she was a virgin, she didn't know anything else. So because a lot of us have been having more than one person because we're not virgins, right? Then you have this situation where you like, oh, this is good, this is not. It's just like being in the candy store. Oh, I like this, my favorite candy over here. I don't like that. That's nasty. I can't deal with that. So now you're in this place. And so a person said to me, well, I need to try it before I buy it because I know what's good. And if it ain't good and I made a commitment with this situation, oh, no, that's not going to happen. And this is my answer to you, okay? When you have faith in God, God is a big God. And God created everything that you are, right? He created you. So he knows your body. He knows your chemistry. He knows your spirit. So if you can trust and have faith in God to know that this is the woman that he brought you, then don't you know that he has equipped it to be perfected in that place? He told me, he showed me this very thing. He said, because my question, it's like your question. Because I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait, And he said, I will conform the waters to make it fit perfectly. And the love that you will have with that person, you can't even imagine You think what you're looking for is good up in the flesh. You ain't did nothing when you making love in the bed with God and the one he chose you in the spirit. You understand? So what you do is, now that I have God in my life, he's in my bed, and he's going to say, daughter, I give you permission to marry this man right here. I'm going to be like, I know he's equipped. You understand? And then realize this, because now I'm in bed with my Father, the Most High God, I became a virgin again. Isn't that beautiful? That's why he says, and physically you're like, oh, well, they were virgins back then, and then that was their first, so they knew nothing. But guess what? When you save yourself and you get back in bed with God and say, you know what, I'm not doing that no more. I'm saving myself. I'm back in bed with God. I'm waiting for whatever God has for me, that husband. I have that faith when he brings that husband. I am as a virgin again. And guess what? He's going to make sure that that's all I need and desire that way. So that's what you have to know. We have to pull ourselves from these licenses that Satan has to destroy our soul and get us in the pit of hell. And I also wanted to talk to you married people too, like when you marry and the enemy, you know, and I tell men too and women, don't think you're going to get in a relationship. If you're promiscuous and you're having sex and this and that, and you feel like, well, I need some kind of restraint. I need to be with that right person. And I know once I get with them that, you know, I'm not going to be like that no more. You know,
good luck.
Let me tell you, now you in a house with the same problem. And now not only are you going to be affected, the people in that house is going to be affected because you didn't clean yourself up before you got in the house. Don't you know even greater now the enemy knows what your weaknesses are? So he like, yay, you know, he going to have a field day. You understand? Because that's why I said it's important for you to become that love, to become disciplined, to work on those things that you have those weaknesses about so that you can be an overcomer, you know? And so when those attempts come and things like that, you're in that relationship, you have the fear of God in your heart.
Absolutely.
You're like, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to put myself in a position to do that. And you're going to put your wife up front. And woman's like, oh, call my wife. my wife. You know my wife? You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you have to do to make sure, because now you're accountable not only for what's going on in your house, your children, but God is looking at you like, okay, that's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Okay, man, that's my daughter. You know, I bless you with my daughter. Now, don't go in there, you know. And true, when you don't get something good, whatever, it's biblical. God will give you a bad wife, or God will give you a bad husband. You know, that meaning, and you can see bad into good and good into bad, because I feel like even though you might have a relationship, that marriage did not work the way you wanted it. And I'm going to have a lady that's going to come in. She's going to talk about divorce, because divorce can be a very hard pill to swallow. I know that for myself, and how to deal with that, and how to not be bitter, and understand, you know, how to actually work with that. And if God is blessing you in another relationship, those things are very important, right? So
yeah, God will give you second chances.
Oh, yes, he will.
Give you second chances.
Yes, he will. And the thing is that in any relationship, if it's not working out for you, just give it to God and you do right. I say, no matter if that person is doing you wrong, maybe that person is not doing everything that you know that they should do spiritually, emotionally, in that relationship, by the laws of God, don't you stop. You keep doing the right thing, because God will restore. Either he will restore the relationship, or in Corinthians it says, if a husband wants to leave, let him leave. He's no longer under bondage. And like with a wife, if a husband, whatever, leave, let him leave, no longer under bondage, vice versa, okay? Meaning that, but he said, I put you not under bondage anymore, because why? I released you out of Egypt. Because no matter what this person did, you became closer, stronger, better, just in God. You know, you might not deserve it, but I love God so much. I'm going to do my part. He told me to be a good wife. He told me to be meek. He told me to be submissive. He told me to do this. And at the same time, I pray that your heart will be transformed to be just like these things. You know what I'm saying? But if you do not become those things, guess what? It's going to be okay. Because then God's going to have that separation. It's not going to be me that's separated. It will be God to do the separation. He will the one to pull you out because he see you being faithful. You're being faithful. And when you're faithful, God will pull you out, bring you up, and you will soar with something even greater and better. And you don't have to cry about, oh, well, I put all my time in here, because he will restore you. You will be like, well, I put everything in here. He will give you a new harvest. He will give you everything when you're faithful to him. And that is the test. When people come against us, when people hurt us, you know what? Christ said he had no guile in his heart when people were coming against him and treating him wrong. You know what? He said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So in your relationship, if it's not working out the way that you desired it to be, you become more loved. You become one. If you feel that you can be able to, it's going to be some transformation in there to a point where it's not a violation to something that's not, let me put it like this. If it's some of a dangerous situation, like some women, maybe domestic violence or things of that nature, then that's something totally different because you want to find yourself to be in a safe place. But if you're dealing with just small things, because I don't like the way he does this right here, or like if he's sick and I don't want to go through this whole thing, you're accountable for that. That's unconditional love. You can't just get out just because you want to get out. Divorce is not just supposed to be because I'm tired of this relationship, we grew apart, and now let's all go our separate ways. No, it doesn't work like that. It definitely doesn't work like that. But true enough, if God is someone's heart that just wants to leave, you should not feel bad about it, because God said if they want to leave, let them leave. That means that they didn't have faith in the relationship, or God has allowed that person to leave. And I have this one lady, she was with her husband for 30 years, and he left, and she felt like she was going to die and lose herself, because that's all she knew. She like, and God was like, God don't play. God's like, if you put anyone before me, your husband, your wife, your children, God will snatch stuff from you, just to snatch from you. Say, okay, now you see that big old fat boy that you got there that you had him in? Now stick me there.
Yeah, God shall have no other gods.
No other gods, right? Go ahead, CHIQUITA, tell him. Yes, that's right. So you know what? Make sure that you fulfill yourself with the love of God first. Do not put anyone before that. And like I said, if that person wants to leave, let them leave. Let them leave, and don't. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But the thing that you do, what's most important, is that you live your life accordingly. So to the man, if you have in that situation, what God said to you to do, to love her, to nourish her, to protect her, to provide, to take care of her well-roundedly.
He's the head.
You're the head of the household. So once you do that, when you do that, that's a beautiful thing. You do that, that's a beautiful thing. So I want to definitely let you guys know that these mashed potatoes is all about relationships. And if you want your relationship to start off and be great, you want to start off in the bed with God first. And then you want to add those principles to your life, and you get that flesh, start peeling that flesh, peeling that, whether it's lust or whether it's lies or whether it's insecurity. Start getting yourself fulfilled back in your relationship with God. So that way, when you're ready for this relationship, that you're a whole. And then you're having two wholes. And now you're even able to discern the spirit that's inside that woman to know if that's what you really want. If this is really what God has for me. And you look, he's like, you want contentions or peace? Is she contentious or she has peace? Which one do you want? So you have to really start looking on the inside. We get so deceived by just looking on somebody on the outside, getting this chemistry, running with it. And then when we get down the road, we feel like we then fell into a hole, a ditch. Okay? So now we got to learn how to do it the right way. The world license was boyfriend, girlfriend, getting engaged, and we're just having sex all day, all night, thinking it's the person. Next thing you know, that don't work. Then you're in another relationship, that don't work. Then you're bitter, then you're hurt, then you bring all these type of walls up in the relationship that makes it not work. And so now you have to come back and say, you know what? I need to work on me. And stop looking at every relationship, pointing the finger, saying, well, I left that one because she was this way, or I left him because he was that way. Think about what you learned from that relationship. What in that relationship allowed you to grow? And what in that relationship that you know now that you can be complete and become a better person, so when God brings you the right relationship, that you are totally an awesome potato, right? So Chiquita, I mean, is there anything you want to add?
I'm just thinking in my little mind about when you talked about chemistry. I have dated guys that they could all look like brothers, or they dated me and I could look like their ex's sisters. So that's part of the chemistry that you want to kind of just break off when you see that, because it's not always being disciplined. You want, again, to be under the principles of God, and you really want to look inside yourself, and most importantly, inside of him as well.
Yes, looking on the inside is so important, gentlemen and ladies, you know, because like I said, we get into the woo and the we. And that woo and we is because we're seeing the things that they might be doing on the outside, on the outside, what they may have, you know, and then on the outside of how they may look, you know, and even sometimes what they have. It's vice versa. And then at the end of the day, they're doing like our fathers did, instead of taking accountability for our wrongdoing into that relationship, because it's both men's fault and women's fault when you come into a relationship that you're committing fornication. So you can't say, well, you know what? Oh, he was like this, and leave the relationship. Well, God is saying, well, with me, you were wrong. So I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at, you told me that you love me, you have a relationship with me, but yet you got somebody in my bed. Because realize God is our husband. God is our husband, and he's our father. So if we have someone in our bed with God that is not the marriage and married to us, then we are going against and defiling God, our relationship with God, defiling our bed, defiling our temple, right? So when we say we love God, it is time for us to do those things that he required, because he said that those who love me keep my commandments. Okay? So remember this. Next week, we're going to go a little bit more into this fitting process, and we're going to have this wonderful couple coming up real soon. And Chiquita will also do the announcements one more time to let you know about how to really trust God for your mate and not feeling like you have to try it before you buy it, because what you're trying is sin, and what you buying is destruction and damnation. So trust me, that's not a good buy. And that's definitely not a good product, right? So anyway, thank you for joining me. I love you all. You are the royal family. So we have to start exercising, becoming that love, becoming the love movement, bringing the body of one together, doing those things according to the work and the will of God. You love him, be as he is. Be the Christ in you. And thank you for rocking with Zion. And I'm going to end this with my beautiful sister in Christ, Chiquita. Go ahead.
Oh, I love you, baby. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. Zion, thank you so much. Again, I'm Chiquita. I'm going to wrap it up with you guys because we haven't eaten. We're getting ready to go out to dinner, but and some of you probably are too. Thanks for joining us. I just want to remind you that this coming Sunday, Zion is going to interview music producer Mike London of Hickory Music Publishing. Mike is going to be talking to you and taking actually some of your questions for those that are interested in the music business, those that want to know about publishing, which is the bread and butter or the mashed potatoes. That's the big money in music. And he's going to answer your questions. So if you have some questions, write them down and definitely let us know on Sunday at 2 p.m. It's going to be Mike London of Hickory Music Publishing Also on the 21st, down in Los Angeles, we're in Vegas right now, but down in Los Angeles at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, we're going to invite you with Zion on October 21st as she interviews the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson during his birthday bash and fashion show. There are going to be a number of celebrity guests, including Judge Greg Mathis, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. I know you already know we can't say enough about our girl Maxine Waters. I think I'm going just to see her. She's going to be fantastic as well. And they're going to have a number of special performances as well. You can check online, and also we're going to be posting how you can get your tickets right here as well. That's going to be October 21st at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, and Zion is going to be doing a one-on-one interview with the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson. We're going to see you back on Sunday, 2 p.m. I want all of you to have a fantastic weekend. My apologies for not being able to read all of the comments that we got. Wait a minute, one more thing from Zion. What's this, Zion?
If they like to go, they can buy tickets or a table to the Jesse.
Absolutely. Tickets are going to be available. Tables are going to be available. You can call our 800 number as well. It's going to be posted. And that's it. Thank you, guys. We'll see you Sunday at 2 p.m. with Rock Life on Zion. I'm CHIQUITA. Thank you, guys.